Imagine a painter, Han, who could make silence speak. A man who captured emotion in a single glance and painted silk so real you could almost feel its shine. His name was Gerard ter Borch, the artist who turned quiet moments into timeless masterpieces. Fact 1. The beginning of a quiet genius. Gerard ter Borch was born in 1621 in the Dutch town of Zwolle. He grew up in a family full of art and creativity. His father, Gerard ter Borch the Elder, was also a painter and became his first teacher. From an early age, Gerard was fascinated by brushes, colors, and light. He would spend hours watching his father mix paints and study how light touched metal and silk. Everyone around him noticed his talent very early. When he was just 8, his father began keeping his drawings in a box. He knew his son was not an ordinary boy. Gerard's hands could turn silence into beauty. Those hands would one day paint their way into history. Fact 2. Journey to Italy. As a young man, Gerard ter Borch traveled to Italy to study art. Italy was the center of Baroque painting, full of light, color, and drama. He visited cities like Rome and Naples, where he studied the works of masters such as Caravaggio and Annibale Carracci. The trip changed him forever. He learned to paint light and shadow more realistically and to capture the quiet emotions of people. He observed the elegance of daily life, the folds of silk, the glow of candlelight, and brought these lessons back to the Netherlands. After returning home, his paintings showed a new depth and sophistication. Italy gave Gerard a vision that would define his career. His work became famous for its calm, intimate moments, a style inspired by what he had seen abroad. Fact 3. Master of portraits and domestic scenes. Gerard ter Borch was most famous for his portraits and scenes of daily life. In his paintings, people often appeared calm, thoughtful, and full of subtle emotion. He didn't just paint faces, he captured gestures, glances, and the way hands rested or moved with incredible skill. He paid special attention to clothing and fabrics. Silk garments, their softness, sheen, and folds were rendered so realistically that viewers felt they could almost touch them. Candlelight, cups, and other objects on the table added life and depth to his scenes. Ter Borch painted both wealthy people and ordinary citizens in their daily moments. Every scene seemed to tell a story, like a frozen memory of a single instant. He conveyed a sense of calm, elegance, and refinement in every work. His style stood out from other painters of his time because he perfectly balanced emotion and detail. Gerard ter Borch's paintings were not just visually beautiful, they also captured the quiet subtleties of the human soul.
Fact 4. Master of silk and fabrics. One of Gerard ter Borch's most remarkable skills was his ability to paint fabrics and silk with astonishing realism. He could make silk shimmer, velvet feel soft, and lace appear delicate, all on a flat canvas. Every fold, crease, and reflection was carefully observed and reproduced. This skill was not just technical, it added emotion and character to his paintings. A simple piece of clothing could tell a story about the person wearing it, their wealth, taste, and even mood. Ter Borch studied how light interacted with different materials, candlelight reflecting off silk, shadows falling across velvet. He captured it all with incredible precision. This attention to detail made his domestic scenes and portraits feel alive and intimate. Viewers could almost feel the texture of the fabrics and sense the quiet elegance of the moment. It was this mastery of fabrics that set him apart from other Dutch Golden Age painters, giving his works a unique combination of beauty, realism, and emotional depth. Fact 5. The Gallant Conversation. One of Gerard ter Borch's most celebrated paintings is The Gallant Conversation, created around 1654. It is also sometimes called the Paternal Admonition. This painting shows a quiet, intimate scene. A young woman seated, a man speaking to her, and subtle gestures that suggest a story. The expressions, the folds of her silk dress, and the soft lighting make the moment feel alive. Viewers are drawn into the scene, trying to understand the unspoken tension between the characters. Ter Borch's mastery of detail is on full display, from the texture of the fabric to the shadows and reflections on the floor. Every glance, every small gesture tells part of the story. Historians and art lovers still debate the exact meaning of the scene, which adds to its intrigue. This painting perfectly captures ter Borch's skill in blending realism, emotion, and narrative. It is considered a masterpiece of the Dutch Golden Age and a defining example of his work. Fact 6. Master of capturing human emotion. In Gerard ter Borch's paintings, people often appear calm and thoughtful. He didn't just paint their faces, he carefully captured their glances, gestures, and the movements of their hands. Every detail in his paintings tells a story. A single look or the way a hand moves can express a person's emotions, thoughts, and mood. This skill set him apart from other painters of his time. Each scene feels quiet, delicate, and at the same time realistic. Viewers feel as if they can see into the inner world of the people in his paintings. Fact 7. Influence on other artists. Gerard ter Borch was highly respected by his contemporaries. Many artists admired his ability to capture quiet, intimate moments. It is believed that Johannes Vermeer, another Dutch Golden Age master, was influenced by ter Borch's work. Vermeer's calm domestic scenes and attention to light and detail reflect ter Borch's style. Ter Borch's subtle use of color, texture, and composition inspired many painters who came after him. His approach to painting people in everyday situations set a standard for realism and elegance. Even today, art historians study his work to understand the delicate balance of emotion and technical skill. Ter Borch's legacy is not only in his own paintings, but also in the way he shaped Dutch art for generations. Fact 8. His religious beliefs and their influence on his art. Gerard ter Borch's religious beliefs are subtly reflected in his paintings. He was a Protestant, and this faith was an important part of social and cultural life during the Dutch Golden Age. While religious themes are rarely explicit in his work, his focus on calmness, restraint, and careful observation of human behavior aligns with Protestant values. Instead of dramatic religious scenes or grand church interiors, he highlighted the personal and inner aspects of faith. In his domestic scenes, he often depicted people praying, quietly reflecting, or focused on their daily work, moments that showed both simplicity and spiritual depth. His religious perspective also influenced his choice of colors and use of light. Soft tones and natural illumination create a sense of harmony and serenity in his paintings. This subtle approach demonstrates that ter Borch's faith shaped not only his personal life, but also his artistic vision. The balance between spiritual calm and visual beauty makes his works both aesthetically pleasing and deeply meaningful. Fact 9. Later life and recognition. As Gerard ter Borch grew older, his reputation as a master painter continued to rise. He became well known not only in his hometown of Zwolle, but throughout the Netherlands. Collectors and patrons greatly admired his ability to depict quiet domestic scenes and the subtle emotions of people. Ter Borch's works were highly sought after by wealthy citizens, merchants, and even members of the nobility. Despite all this recognition, he remained modest and humble, focusing more on the quality of his work than on public fame. In his later years, he further refined his technique, paying greater attention to detail, light, and texture. His mature works display a perfect balance of realism and elegance, showing his deep understanding of human nature. Fact 10. His death and eternal legacy. Gerard ter Borch's life was quiet, thoughtful, and completely devoted to art. He passed away in 1681 in his hometown of Zwolle, the same place where much of his life and inspiration had begun. By the time of his death, he was already recognized as one of the most respected and admired painters of the Dutch Golden Age. His passing was a great loss to the world of art, yet his works made him immortal. Ter Borch never chased fame or wealth. His genius spoke through silence, light, and emotion. He left behind not only beautiful paintings, but also a lasting legacy of quiet elegance and deep human sensitivity. Today, his masterpieces hang in museums around the world, where viewers still feel the tenderness and depth of his brush. Gerard ter Borch may have left this world, but his art continues to live in every glance, every touch of color, and every silent story he painted. And that was the story of Gerard ter Borch, the quiet genius who turned silence into art. If you enjoyed discovering his life and masterpieces, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss more amazing stories from the world of history and art. Your support helps us bring more hidden stories to life. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.